Arnold Schwarzenegger's life reads like a script Hollywood would struggle to believe. From a small Austrian village to global fame, his journey spans bodybuilding dominance, Hollywood superstardom, and political leadership. Behind the public image of success lies a story shaped by hardship, obsession, and relentless ambition. This is not just a tale of fame, but of transformation, how one man reshaped his identity repeatedly to conquer entirely different worlds. His rise was not accidental, but engineered through discipline, vision, and psychological intensity. To understand him is to trace the making of a figure who treated life itself as a competition to be won at any cost. A childhood forged in post-war Austria. Arnold was born in 1947 in Thal, near Graz, in a defeated post-war Austria, struggling with poverty and emotional scars from World War II. His home lacked modern comforts, and life was shaped by scarcity and discipline. His father, a strict police officer, demanded obedience and order above all else. Childhood was not gentle or nurturing. It was structured like a military regime. Competition between Arnold and his brother was encouraged, often cruelly, creating constant pressure to outperform. In this environment, he developed early feelings of isolation and ambition. Even as a boy, he sensed that his future did not belong in the world around him. The father's shadow and inner fire. Gustav Schwarzenegger's presence shaped Arnold's psychology deeply. A stern, authoritarian figure, he enforced discipline through intimidation and emotional distance. Praise was rare, and criticism was constant. Arnold often felt dismissed and underestimated, especially compared to his older brother. Physical punishment and emotional coldness created a sense of detachment in him rather than submission. Instead of breaking, he internalized the struggle and redirected it inward. This environment planted a paradoxical force within him, resentment mixed with motivation. He began imagining a life far beyond his circumstances, where control, strength, and recognition would replace humiliation and invisibility in his early home life. The discovery of bodybuilding purpose. As a teenager, Arnold discovered bodybuilding through magazines featuring champions like Reg Park. The idea of sculpting the human body into perfection became more than inspiration. It became a mission. He saw bodybuilding not as sport, but as a pathway out of Austria. Training became obsessive and structured, often involving secret sessions in closed gyms and improvised equipment. He trained with intensity beyond his years, focusing on building not just muscle, but identity. Each repetition represented progress toward escape. While others saw it as recreation, he saw it as strategy. This vision transformed his discipline into a long-term plan for reinvention and global success. Military service and early victory. During mandatory military service, Arnold continued training relentlessly, often prioritizing bodybuilding over duty. His obsession even led him to leave his post briefly to compete in a junior bodybuilding contest in Germany. Despite limited preparation and resources, he won. The victory was more than a trophy. It was proof of concept. Even punishment, including confinement for desertion, did not discourage him. Instead, it reinforced his belief that rules could be bent through willpower. He began to see himself as different from others, someone capable of reshaping reality through determination. This period solidified his identity as a competitor destined for larger stages. Arrival in America and early failure. In 1968, Arnold arrived in the United States, entering a world far larger and more competitive than Europe. He was confident, but America quickly challenged him. At his first major contest, he lost, exposing weaknesses in definition and refinement. The defeat was painful, but it became a turning point. Rather than retreat, he studied what others did better and adjusted his methods. Moving to California, he immersed himself in the bodybuilding culture of Venice Beach. Surrounded by elite athletes, he refined his training philosophy, focusing on precision, symmetry, and constant improvement. Failure became fuel rather than discouragement in his evolving pursuit of perfection. Venice Beach and psychological warfare. In California, Arnold trained at Gold's Gym, surrounded by some of the strongest athletes in the world. But he quickly realized physical strength alone was not enough. He began developing psychological strategies to gain advantage over competitors. Through confidence, humor, and calculated conversation, he would subtly undermine rivals' self-belief before competitions. He studied human behavior as carefully as he studied muscle groups. Training became both physical and mental warfare. His reputation for mind games grew, making him as feared psychologically as he was physically impressive. This combination of charisma and intimidation helped establish his dominance in the bodybuilding world over time. Pumping Iron and global recognition. The 1977 documentary Pumping Iron transformed Arnold from bodybuilding champion into global cultural figure. The film captured his personality, confident, strategic, and unapologetically dominant. Audiences were fascinated by his blend of humor and psychological control over competitors like Lou Ferrigno. He presented bodybuilding not as niche sport, but as theatrical performance and lifestyle philosophy. His famous on-screen charisma made him instantly recognizable beyond the fitness world. The documentary also revealed his mindset. Victory was mental before it was physical. After multiple Mr. Olympia wins, he had reached the peak of bodybuilding and began seeking a new challenge beyond the stage. Business empire and financial intelligence. While still competing, Arnold quietly built financial independence. He invested earnings from competitions into business ventures, including construction work, mail-order fitness programs, and real estate. Unlike many athletes of his era, he treated bodybuilding as a platform rather than an endpoint. By his early 20s, he had already become a millionaire through disciplined investing. This financial success gave him freedom to pursue acting without desperation. His approach combined patience with ambition, showing a strategic mindset often overlooked behind his physical image. He understood early that fame alone was temporary, but ownership and investment could create lasting power and independence. Hollywood breakthrough and reinvention. Hollywood initially rejected Arnold due to his accent, physique, and unconventional appearance. However, he persisted, treating acting like training through repetition and discipline. Early roles were small and often mocked, but he continued refining his presence. His breakthrough came with Conan the Barbarian, where his physicality became the character itself. He later achieved global superstardom with The Terminator, redefining the action genre. His performance style relied less on dialogue and more on presence and intensity. Over time, he turned perceived limitations into strength, becoming one of the most recognizable action stars in cinematic history and redefining what a leading man could be. Arnold Schwarzenegger's journey is ultimately a study in transformation. Each phase of his life, childhood, bodybuilding, business, and Hollywood, was treated as a new arena to dominate. His success was not the result of a single talent, but of relentless adaptation and psychological resilience. Yet beneath the achievements lies a complex cost: the pressure of constant reinvention and the personal sacrifices required to sustain ambition at that level. His story reflects both the power and the burden of extreme drive. In the end, he became more than a champion or actor. He became a symbol of what determined willpower can build and what it can demand in return.